in Patora dAbba. We're in page Tet Zayin. We are starting Inyan HaTzitzit. What is the Bichinat HaTzitzit that a person wears? Tzitzit Katan and Tzitzit Gadol. Okay? So it says over here, Da, and over here you're going to need to know a little Musagim in Torah Hasod, right? So one thing we have to start knowing, right? We always working in Olam HaAtzilut. Okay? So you have the world of Atzilut. In Atzilut, you have 5 systems. Arich Anpin, Abba, Ima, Za, and Nok. Okay? So let's go like this. So Arich is the Keter of Olam HaAtzilut. He starts from the beginning of Olam HaAtzilut till the end. This is just for drawing purposes. So let's imagine Atzilut starts here and ends down here. Down here already starts the world. What's after Atzilut? Bria. Correct? Okay? Bria is also known as the world of Kiseh HaKavod. Okay? So we're not touching Bria right now. Okay? From Atzilut and below, from below Atzilut, Bria is called the world of Perut, the world of separation from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right. The reason is, starting from Bria, you don't see the Ein Sof, you don't see Hashem in his full glory anymore. Already you start to see creations. Okay? While the Sfirot are called Hashem's Midot, alright? You see over there the Ein Sof fully. Okay? All of our Kavanot and everything is in mostly 99.5% is in Olam Atzilut. Okay? So you have Arich, that's the highest world. Okay? Kete. Clothing on top of Arich, starting below it, alright, is the world of Abba or Chokhmah and Bina, which is Ima. Okay, so this is Abba and Ima. They start from the Garon of Arich. Okay? So what's shown from Arich only? Only his Gar. His Keter, Chokhmah, and Bina. Okay, that's what's showing from Arich. So this is Bigalui. This is uncovered. Alright? Galui. Okay? Everything else of Arich is Mechuseh. It's covered. Okay? Clothing on top of Abba and Ima is Za. Okay? So Za starts from here, from the Chesed of Abba and Ima, all the way below. Okay? That's called the world of Za, Ze'er Anpin. Okay? And Za, starting also from his Tiferet, from the Chazeh Velemata, okay, is the world of the Shechina. Okay? The Nukva. Okay? The Shechina Al-Dosha, the Malchut of Olam HaAtzilut. Our job is to get Za all the way up here to Arich. To keep on adding to it until it gets to the top of Atzilut. Why? You want to get him up there. Why do you want to turn Za into Arich? Because that's where it was originally before Adam HaRishon sinned.
You're talking about the Nitzot, picking up the Nitzot?
We do that. Where does he get his Gar from? His Keter Chokhmah Bina. Where does he get it from? From the Nitzotzot that fell during the Shbirat HaKeli. Okay? So that's the whole point. So right now, the world of Tzitzit, the mitzvah of Tzitzit, is on top of Za. Okay? Za has something called Tzitzit. When it comes down to this world, it turns into the wool. What is that? Friends? It turns into wool on top of sheep. When the Jew takes it and he says Leshem mitzvah tzitzit and he ties it up, it turns into the tzitzit of Za, and when you wear it, you're connecting to that. Okay? So that's what the Ari HaKadosh is going to teach us right now. Where exactly does Za wear tzitzit? Okay? So Inyan HaTzitzit hu bichinat ha'or makif. So first of all, you have Za. Okay? You have the world of Za. That's the 4th system. And the tzitzit huwa or makif. So every partzuf has an inner light. Right? That's called or pnimi. And then it has an or makif. That or makif on Za is the tzitzit. Okay? Now what's higher? Or pnimi or makif? What's higher? When it comes to orot, the or makif is always higher than the or pnimi. Why? What is or makif? Or makif is the light that didn't fit into the kli. It's so big, it didn't fit inside the kli and it burst out. Okay? That light that bursts out is your tzitzit. That's why when you wear tzitzit, technically speaking, the right way to wear it is to cover also your head. All the time. Right? It's very hard for some people. They have whatever the case is, but technically speaking, the way the Ari Kadosh wrote, the tzitzit has to also cover, even the tefillin has to cover everything. Some people want to cover it all the way. Some people say no, that you're just implying that. So the Ben Ish Chai says you have to cover the tefillin all the way. That means go down like this and mamash cover it like lehavdil. You know, the ancient pharaohs, their hats used to cover like this, top of their head, like that. But we don't do that. We just put it on top of the tzitzit. It's just a mashal. All right, of how the tzitzit is covering all over za. Okay, so hu inyan or makiv ki za bioto betoch ima, when za was inside ima besod ha'ibur lo haya ela b'bchinat shesh k'tzavot bilvad. What is he saying over here? Za originally, just as when you're born, you start off as a baby in your mother's womb. So too the partzuf of za, before it was born, it was in a state of impregnation. In which world? The world of Ima, the Bina. Okay? So Za was originally an Ima. When he was in Ima, he didn't have 10 sfirot. How many did he have only? 6. So Za originally, when he was as a baby, the mashal is, inside the womb of the Bina, right? He only had Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod. Right? And the Malchut was attached to the tip of the Ateret HaYesod. Was attached to the tip of the... that's why when we write Shem Havaya, right? How do you write Shem Havaya in the Sefer Torah? You ever pay attention? If the Sefer Torah is written Kederech Ha'ari, the guy writes Yud Kei Vav Kei, right? So the second Hey, he writes like this. Like that. Why does he write it like that? Because see the letter Hey, Yud Kei Vav Kei, right? So the second Hey, right? The second Hey is the world of Bina, it's Ima. Alright? The Vav is what gematria of what? 6. Za, this Vav inside the Hey, it's Za. That's the partzuf of Za inside Ima. The second Hey. The fourth Hey is the Malchut, is the Shekhinah. Alright? But the second Hey, the Remez is Te'ima. The first Hey, the Remez is Te'ima. And the Vav inside the Hey, that's Gematria 6. Why 6? That's Za. Alright? And the Malchut is connected to it. That's why there's a small, if you see the Sefer Torah, there's a small piece that comes out of the Vav. There's a small piece that comes out of the Vav, that's the Malchut. So people who write the Shem Havaya connected to the Sefer Torah, they write it like that, according to the Ari HaKadosh. Okay? ולא היו אז בו לא בחינת ראש, לא בחינת זרועות, אלא גוף אחד פשוט בלבד. When Za, the fourth system, is inside Bina, is inside the Bina, inside Ima, you don't see the head and you don't see the hands. If you ever see a baby inside the mother's womb, how is he? His head is inside, right? It's called a fetal position, and his hands are inside too, right? Only when he's born, he stretches out. So to Za, whatever is in our world is just a hishtal shalut of what it is in the supernal worlds. Okay, so we're an mirror image down here. Okay, so we're Za. Okay, and the women are all Malchut. Okay, so Za, when he's inside Ima, he's inside a fetal position and he's only 6 sfirot. And we have to add to him the rest of the 3 to get him to 9. Plus the Malchut, he's going to be 10. Okay, so Za is missing his Chabad, his Chokhmah, Bina, and Da'at, and he's missing his Malchut. Like when a guy gets married, he gets his Malchut. Okay, and he completes the partzuf of Za, and then as he gets older, Za turns into Arich. A man turns into a father. First he turns into Abba, and then he turns into a grandfather, right? Which is Arich Anpid. Okay, and that's how the whole world goes into the cycle until Biat Mashiach Tzidkenu, right? Where even, what does the Navi say? Even a child will die at the age of 100. When a person will die at the age of 100, he'll still be considered a child. Why? Because the Arich of today will be the Za of time of Mashiach. Okay? So everything connects according to the Ari HaKadosh, right? וכנגד זה הוא ציצית קטן, שאין מתעדפין פה לא את הראש ולא את הזרועות. Why the ציצית קטן? We don't cover our head with it. The ציצית קטן only goes on our bodies because the tzitzit katan is keneged za when he was bechinat ibur. So when does za wears tzitzit katan? When he's in a state of gadlut or katnut? Gadlut means maturity, right? When he's already born, he's big, right? Katnut when he's in be'ibur. Be'ibur means he's still small, he only has 6. So the Ari says tzitzit katan is keneged za when he's bechinat ibur only. That's why the tzitzit only covers the body. That's why it only covers the body. But talit gadol, he's going to explain, is when za is bechinat gadlut. So therefore it covers the whole body. So the or makif covers everything. Okay, I know it's a bit of a, he's talking about deep stuff over here, but אבל הציצית גדול המעוטף המעטף את הראש בציצית גדול. See, he puts ציצית גדול, the Ari, specifically on the head. Because that's the whole point of the talit gadol, to cover the head. It's showing you that now Zah is not a katnut. He's not a child anymore. He's not in the state of katnut. He's not Yaakov anymore. Now he's Yisrael already. Alright? What is it? The Ari says, what does it mean, this pasuk? That Yisrael sat on top of the mitah. So the Ari says all of Yaakov Avinu's life, he was Bichinat Yaakov. Yaakov is under the mitah. Mitah is the Kisei HaKavod, Bria. When he saw Yosef, now he's on top of the mitah, on top of the Kisei HaKavod. Now he's Bichinat Atzilut. He's much bigger right now, right? That's why when we speak about the Jewish people, we always say Bnei Yisrael. It should always be Bichinat Gadlut. We don't call ourselves Bnei Yaakov. We always call ourselves Bnei Yisrael, right? And the Goyim, Lahavdil, they also want to call themselves Yisrael. Why? Because they're like Kikof Bibnei Adam. They always want to steal the Gadlut of Am Yisrael. Of course, it's never going to help. לכן שיעור טלית גדול של עטיפה הוא כדי לכסות ראשו ורובו. How big does your talit gadol have to be? As big as to cover your head and most of your body. Okay? People are machmir, they get the talit gadol up until the floor. Right? But the minimum,
Is it a problem if the tzitzit touches the floor?
It's a problem if the tzitzit is dragged on the floor. If it's dragged on the floor, it's a problem. With tzitzit gadol, as long as it covers most of the body, it means until here. If it covers your head up until here, it's already considered kashiur. That's the right shiur of talit gadol. That's why specifically when we wear a talit gadol, you have to wrap yourself around it just like the Arabs do it. Right? Because when the Arabs wrap their turban or whatever they wrap also their head. Correct? And then you take the 2 tzitzits, shebetzad yamin, that are on the right side, and to the left side, right? באופן שיתחברו שם בצד השמאל מאחוריו כודל הציציות, ויהיו תלויים מאחוריו בצד השמאל. So the whole point is to take the tzitzit, Gabriel, from the right side to the left, then the left side. All 4 tzitzits have to connect to your back. Why does it connect to your back? What's your kavanah when you take your tzitzit and you hit it to your back? Because what's standing in the back of Za? Za, that's us. We're the 4th system, right? And behind of Za, right in the Katef, right, starts the 5th system, which is the Shechina, the Malchut. So when he takes his tzitzit and he hits it to the back, he's giving the Shefa to the Shechina.
What's the Malchut?
The Malchut is always by the Chazer of Za. Right? That's her place. Rachel starts in the Chazer. Right?
But why in the back?
Because she's always standing from him back to back. How was Adam and Chava created? Back to back. Our job is to cut in between them, bring them back together. Okay? And then slowly by slowly, we have to build the Malchut until she gets it to the Keter of Zah. When does that happen? Once a week? In Musaf of Shabbat. Okay? And during the year, it happens in Shavuot. Right? It's the biggest zivug in Shavuot after learning Torah all night. And after Sfrat HaOmer, it's one whole big process. The zivuk happens, and right away it goes back down. In the time of the Beit HaMikdash, the Shekhinah was always at the same level as Zah. Just one level lower. Always, in the first Beit HaMikdash. In the second Beit HaMikdash, where she was missing the 5 things, the Aron, the Urim Vetumim, the Shekhinah, the Beit HaMikdash was missing the divine presence, the fire of the Mizbeach, the prophecy, so she was always Bechazed Zah. In the second Beis Hamikdash. It was a very low ha'ara, but she was always, the 5th system was always face to face with the 4th system, always. It was never back to back. Then when the Galut happened, basically the Chorban Bait Sheni is the same aspect of the Chet Adam Harishon. Same thing happened, and it's always back to back, except when we do mitzvot. When we do mitzvot, right away the zivuk happens. right? But in Tefillah is the biggest zivug, so it takes us Shacharit, Mincha, Aravitz for 6 days. Then Musaf comes, it's the main zivug, and then we start a whole new week. And like this, we go. That's why if you miss one Tefillah, what does the Gemara say? Me'uvat lo yachol litkon, you can never bring it back. You missed one, you're relying on somebody else to fix it for you. Okay? So that you get the point of the tzitzit, right? Why are we taking it to the back? To give the shefa to the Shekhinah HaKedoshah, right? The fifth system, which is God's Malchut, right? Why? Because that's where the Nekeva, the Shekhinah starts. Why do we call the Shekhinah always in the feminine aspect? Why is the Sfirat HaMalchut a feminine Sfira? Because the Malchut is the last Sfira from all the 10, right? So she gets from all of them, right? A receiver is always a female. You could be a man, but when you receive, you're a female, right? We're all females compared to somebody else, right? But our job is always to be as male as we can be. Always be a zachar, always be a giver, never be a taker.
That's why she doesn't have nikudot.
Huh? That's what she doesn't have, exactly, right? But Zah is 6 nikudot, right? But he's also a female compared to Ima. Right?
We're all humans, even though we're males, we still want to receive something, you know what I'm saying?
The more power to receive in us, that comes from your bigger aspect of the malchut inside of you. Your malchut is mitgaber on all your other midot. Because remember, you're Zah. Okay? You have all the sfirot inside of you. And the neshama is inside of you, that's a part of the Ein Sof. Right? So corresponding to which midah is mitgaber for you, that's what's going to be your power to give. Right? Either to be giver in chesed, givura, tiferet, netzach, hod, yisod, right column, left column, middle column. Right? The big tzaddikim, they used to wear their talit all day. Right? To always be mamshich that or. Because the more you do a mitzvah, let's say I wear my tefillin all day. Let's say. So all day I'm bringing down that shefa non-stop. Non-stop, I'm bringing it down. Okay? Or some people pray for a very long time because they're continuing that shefa all the time. They always want to be inside the shefa. Okay? Inside that power of that sfira, that shefa, whatever the case is. Okay? גם רבינו סעדיה כתב, also Rav Sadia Gaon said you have to rap like the Ishmaelim. וטוב ונכון לעשות כך, ולפחות יישאר מעוטף כך, כדי שיעור הלכות ד' אמות. When you put the talit, when you in the back of you, right, the left and the right, make sure it's there for at least the time it takes to walk 4 amot. 5 seconds, 6 seconds, you put it, you wait 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you take it out. You have to wait a little bit, right? That's the halacha. בית שמייצב בציצית, ואחר כך יסיר העיטוף מעל צווארו, and then you take it from your neck, off your neck. And this is how the Ari HaKadosh used to wear his
Your father does
talit.
it 3 times.
3 times. That's Kamin Hagas Sadeh. The Sadeh would do it 3 times.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Certain kavanot he would do. When he used to do it 3 times. But the Ari, seemingly from the Ari, only 1 time he would do it. Okay? So you do right, left, right, wait 4 seconds, 5 seconds, take it off.
Somebody told me 10 seconds.
Okay, but then what he counted how long it takes to walk. How much is 4 amot?
I know, right?
4 amot is from here, let's say there.
Right, so it's at least 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Right.
Okay? Alright. Let's continue. וכן בהיות האדם שוב של תפילה בשער היום, אינו חייב בטלית גדול. When you're not davening, says the Ari, you're not chayav to wear talit gadol. So when specifically does one have to wear talit gadol? Says the Ari, only when he's davening. When he's davening.
Why not at night?
Huh?
Why we don't put it on at night?
Because in the night is the time of the katnut. It's like we're all going back inside the bina. And in the bina, we only wear a talit katan, we said. Right? The night, every day you go through birth, teenage, maturity. Night comes, again you go back down to the nikuda. And you start again inside the bed.
It's the beginning.
Exactly. Every day is a new beginning, right? The night,
Exactly.
the beginning. Time to sleep is in the beginning of the night. Second half of the night is the time to learn Torah. And to build your tefillin. We're going to learn that the building of your tefillin comes from the Torah you learn at night. Specifically the second half of the night. Not the first half of the night. Okay? Because at night, a person, because when a person is not davening, right? He's just learning Torah in the base medrash. So the shul is Bechinat Ima, Bina, like the second Hey of Hashem's name, and you go back inside of Bina, and inside of Bina, when Za was inside Bina, right, Ima Ila'ah, then he's just Bechinat 6 ksavot, he's only a goof, and you only have to wear your talit katan. ואומר בתורה כשם ביתו, אמנם אחר שהגדילו בית זון ובאו לבית הכנסת, שיהיה נוקבה, בית כנוסיה לאכול, אז נתתם טלית גדול. But when you wake up in the morning, and then you do netilat yadayim, you do this, and you come to the beit knesset, then you're bechinat gadlut, right? So you get your chabad, you wear your tefillin, your talit, your tefillin, you come to the beit knesset, then you have to make sure to wear a talit gadol when you're inside beit knesset while you're davening. While you're davening specifically, okay? Says the Ari. Continuing. ולהיות י"ח כי הציציות הן ממוחין דקטנות אשר קדמו אל המוחין דגדלות, לכן צריך להקדים להניח הציצית קודם התפילין. The Ari says it's very important to always wear your talit before your tefillin. You shouldn't wear your tefillin before your talit, because the talit comes from a smaller chokhmah bina in that, not a bigger. Oh.
Sorry?
When? He's trying to get through.
Carpets.
Yeah, he's breaking through the carpets.
We're inside the carpet.
You went inside using?
There's no other way.
Okay, if you see it, throw something at it. ולכן צריך להקדים להניח הציצית קודם התפילין. Therefore, you have to wear your tzitzit before your tefillin. And if you wear your talit, talit after your tzitzit, you have to take off your tefillin, wear your talit again without a beracha, and then wear your tzitzit. ואפילו הטלית גדול. Why is he saying this? Because there was a little bit of מקובלים, ההפך ספרד קצת מקובלים, that they wear their tefillin before their tzitzit. After they wear their tzitzit katan, he says that's wrong, says the Ari. There were מקובלים in time of the Ari HaKadosh, because the Ari is not the only one who used to learn Torah Tasod. There were people before him.
So if someone wants to stay with the tefillin, but he doesn't want to stay with the talit all day.
That's something else. During tefillah time, he must wear his talit and then his tefillin. Okay? But when a person is bichinat...
He takes it off.
Well, yeah, he's during the day, for example. He's just during the day. He wants to learn Torah. He could keep his tefillin on. Just keep his tefillin on. Some people wear their tefillin all day. Right? They don't wear their talit gadol all day. They just wear their tefillin. They hide it under their shirt or whatever. They don't even wear it. They don't. What? If I do that, no, I don't do. I wish. They don't even wear their tefillin shirts. 2 different mitzvahs, right? There was a very big Rosh Yeshiva of Panovich. I think Rav Lefkovitz. I think he used to wear his talit, his tefillin shaliyad all day. His students would pay it. Just stay out. He would hide it. Huh? No, he would take it. He would go like this. He would hide it like nobody's looking. And you just walk around with tefillin shaliyad all day, and like this you're mekayim 2 mitzvot midoraita all day, right? Because twice I believe the Torah says to wear your tefillin shaliyad. Twice or 4 times, I don't remember. Right? מכל שכן שאין לעשות דבר אחרים, ואומרים שתפילין קודמים לכל בין הציצית, ואמרים חזק כי לא ירחיק מקשר גודל כלפי מעלה, ולא יקרב כלפי מטה, בייחוד מגיעים אל הצבאות, נצח חוד יסוד תפארת כנודע, הנה הם אמה וקמיצה וזרת. Says the Ari HaKadosh, when a person makes the hole of his talit, he has to make sure there's 3 fingers space between the hole and the edge of the talit. Has to be 3 fingers space in between. All of us has it. They all do it standard. Why 3 fingers? These 3 fingers has to be keneged netzach hod and yesod. Netzach hod and yesod. And over there, then we put inside the tzitziyot. Before you put on the tzitziyot, you have to say Leshem mitzvat tzitzit. Okay? Not Leshem kiddushat, but Leshem mitzvat tzitzit. כנגד הוד תפארת, I'm sorry, not נצח הוד and יסוד, נצח הוד and תפארת. והנה הם אמה, קמיצה וזרת. Alright? And that's כנגד אמה, the middle finger, קמיצה, right? This is the kmitza, and the zeret. This is the zeret, right? So I believe this is amma, right? Kmitza. How is kmitza? Kmitza is like this, right? Amma, kmitza, and zeret. These 3 fingers. This is the tiferet, the netzach, and the hod. Okay? So those 3 fingers, the length of these 3 fingers, that's how much the whole of the tzitzit has to be away from the edge of the tzitzit katan. הנה נוגדה זה בתחילה, היא עומדת באחורי זה, לכן כמשתתף, אדם בטלית צריך שיחוז בצד הימיני של הטלית בשתי הציציות שבו וישליכם לצד שמאל סביב גרונו על הכתף השמאלי לאחור, כדי שיגיעו הציציות ברשת ונוקבה העומדת שם באחור בצד השמאל כנודע. דנות בשמאלה התאחדת שהם הגבורות. ושתי ציציות האחרות השמאליים ישרו תלויים דרך פניו של אדם ולא באחור. Right? So he says when a person wears his tzitzit, how does he do it first? How does he do it first? The Shekhinah is always standing in the back of Za. The Malchut, the Mashal is, it's always in the back of Za. So here is Za, alright? And the Malchut is over here on the left side. Okay? So when you put the tzitzit, when the right side of your tzitzit pass, right? It has to, basically this is the Chasadim. Your right tzitzit is the Chasadim, and she's on the left, which is the Gvura, and you're sweetening her dinim by throwing the right tzitzit behind you, and it hits the Reisha de Nukva, and it's mimatek the din and the Reisha de Nukva. Okay? Okay, so okay, turn the page. הגבורות, ושתי ציציות האחרות השמאליים ישרו דרך פניו של אדם ולא באחור. ודע שאין להקפיד כף להניח סימן בטלית, לשים תמיד צד אחד של הטלית על הראש כמו שנוהגים האשכנזים. He says, כן שורש למנהג, there's a מנהג אשכנזים, when you have a talit gadol, to make a siman, like a keter on the top. So if I show you the talit, so for example, this minhag to have in the talit, says the Ari, this on the top. He says it's a minhag ta'ut. He says there's no shorsh to this minhag.
Is it a problem?
Huh? He doesn't say it's a problem. He just says da she'en lahakpid. You don't have to be makpid to put a siman in your talit. If you see the Chabad talitot, they don't have this.
I don't know which has which.
That's exactly what he's saying. You don't have to know. There's no panim and achor in talit.
All talit?
Huh?
All talit they
All
have.
no, Chabad talits don't have this.
Or just
It's just plain. Yeah, there's no front and back in their talits. All right? It's just one aspect of talit, and he says that's the right way to do it. Says the Ari. He says en shorish leminhag. There's no shorish to this minhag to have that keter on the top, that ateret on the top, right? וצריך שהטלית יכסה על התפילין. It's very important that your talis is always covering your tefillin. והוא לפי שהציצית הוא כנגד עולמות החיצוניות. So he says that the talit always has to cover the tefillin. Always has to cover it. Why? Because the talit is keneged the chitzoniyut ha'olamot, the outer worlds. And the tefillin is the pnimiyut ha'olamot. Okay? So if your talit is not covering your tefillin, you're kind of contradicting how it's wearing each other in the supernal worlds.
The hand also?
In the hands too. So according to the Ari, actually, when you wear your tefillin sheliyad, your talit should cover your hand while you're wearing it. Right? It's very hard to do that. I myself, I'm not makfit to do that. You have to, cut and paste what you could do sometimes, but slowly by slowly, right? And also that tefillin keneged or makif should be connected hanishamot shem pnimiyut olamot, right? So the talit is the or makif of the chitzoniyut olamot, and the tefillin is the or makif of the pnimiyut. Also, tefillin is or makif. It's not a or pnimi tefillin. How? When you wear your tefillin, how does tefillin work? The or is so strong inside the body that it's bokeh. How do you say bokeh? It sticks out, right? Especially at the head. All right? And that's called pnimiyut ha'olamot, or makif of pnimiyut ha'olamot. Then talit gadol is mechaseh as the or makif of the chitzoniyut ha'olamot, right? ולכן הציצית החיצון יכסה על מקום התפילין שהם פנימיות, גם בזה תבין מעט איך גדולה כשת תפילין בשביל התלית. And that's why also, even though talit is or makif, but the tefillin is still holier than the talit. The tefillin is still holier than the talit. Why? Because the tefillin, even though it's a or pnimi, but it's a or pnimi of olam hanishamot. Tefillin is keneged the nishama. The talit is keneged the olam. What's holier, the neshama or the olam?
What's the neshama? What's the olam?
Neshama would be, for example, us, right? And the olam would be everything that you see. So you see, the world is makif on top of us. So we're like the tefillin of the world, okay? And the world is the talit, okay? What's more kadosh, the world or the neshama? The neshama, human being, is more holier than the world, right? We make the world, right? So too, the talit covers on top of the tefillin, but the tefillin is keneged olam hanishamot, the holiness of the soul. Therefore, that's why we say Leshem kedushat tefillin, right? If a person wants to get Chas Shalom, his tefillin becomes pasul, he has to bury it. You can't Chas Shalom put it, the way we do for our talit, right? And it says over here, Chaf Aleph tzarich lekach velekabetz kol hadalet tzitziot. When a person wears his talit during Shema, he has to be very careful to take all 4 tzitzits. Take all 4 tzitzit. When specifically? Be'et Kriyat Shema. While he says Kriyat Shema, and he has to make sure that he's holding it by his chest. Not like some people, they hold it here, or hold it here, or hold it here. Right?
It's hard. I mean,
It's very hard, I know, but you gotta try. Right? I'm very makpeh on this. You know what he says over here? I don't know if he's gonna say it later on, which is over here when a person puts his tzitzit.
It's going more loose.
When a person puts his tzitzit by his heart, it's 32 strings, keneged lev.
Yeah.
And it's a big sigula to have never to get a holy lev. Never to have a weakness of the heart. Alright? So it's a very big from the Ari HaKadosh. Why the simim, and it has to be specifically by the chazeh. Why not on the top? Why not below? Why not by the beten? Why by the chazeh? Because what happens during Kriyas Shema? The Shekhinah. So this is Za again. This is the Nukva, right? The Nuk. This is Za. She's behind him, yeah? By the time we say Shema, the Nuk goes in front. She's panim bepanim, and where is she standing? By the
chest.
Chazeh. And now, when we threw our tzitzit in the back, now we bring our tzitzit to the front. Okay? And we're bringing her the Kedusha, the Malchut. The more you do for Laman HaShekhinah, the more your physical Shekhinah gets more mevusam, more mitukim, right? And you're mitgaleh the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. Right? Okay, let's continue. And that's בחינת החסרים דגדלות, כדי שיתלבנו הציציות ויתמתקו הדינים. It's to mematek the din inside the Shekhinah הקדושה. So it's a very big thing to bring the 4 kanfot hatzitzit by your chest, right? When we say ma'arba kanfot, you have to hold it with your left hand.
Only
with the left hand, and then when you kiss the tzitzit, you take the tzitzit with your right hand, only the strings, and you do the kissing. The kissing only has to be in 2 places. When you say uritem oto uzchartem, right? Uritem oto uzchartem, you have to look at the tzitzit twice. One keneged ayin yamin, the other keneged ayin simol. Then when you say lo taturu acharei levavchem acharei aynichem ashetem zonim achareihem, first you kiss, and then you go to your eyes, right? And the last time we have to kiss our tzitzit is when you say la'ad or le'olmei olamim. You kiss and you let go.
So when you hold it with your right hand,
with your left hand, and the strings.
The left hand always.
Yeah, it's holding the shorashim,
right.
And the right hand is holding the strings. Okay, that's what's seemingly from the Ari HaKadosh. Okay, let's continue. Let's just do chaf bet. We'll call it a night. ועתה נבאר קצת דקדוקים שיש בעניין הציצית, והם גם מנהגי מורי. What was the minhag of the Ari HaKadosh when he used to make his tzitzit? First of all, he used to do 39 krichot, 39, how do you say it? I say krichot. Not knots, 5 knots, but 39, the things that go around, the spiral, whatever you call it, krichot. Swirls, spiral swirls, okay. So some people do 26. Some people have different numbers that they do. The Ari would do 39, right? שיש בציצית, and this is בחינת tal otiyot שיש באקיה dehehin. These are the 39 letters that there is in Shem Ekye dehehin. What's Ekye dehehin? If you take God's name, one of the Hashem's name is Shem Ekye, right? Aleph K, Yud K. There's a couple of ways of writing this name, Gabriel. Look what goes into a tzitzit. One way is Shem Ekye behehin. How? Aleph is Aleph, Lamed, Fei. Hey is going to be Hey and Hey. Yud, Vav, Dalet. Then K is going to be Hey and a Hey, right? That's called Kana. Shem Kana. Also Gematria, Mikveh. And also Gematria, Kas. Okay? Now if I take this and I write it out even more, how do I write it? I take this Aleph and I do this Aleph as Aleph. Lamed. Fei. Hey, Yud, Vav, Dalet, Hey, Hey. How many letters do we have altogether?
39.
39. There's 39 letters. So every time the guy is making your tzitzit, every time he does a swirl,
letters.
right? He has to think of one of the letters. For each one.
You think they do that?
Well, nobody does it. So you have to go to a person who does it, right? This tzitzit, for example, I did do it. I did this for myself, right? I did do it for this one. So there's many kavanot. There's just one kavana from the Ariyah Kadosh when he used to make his tzitzit, okay? The fish, so the tzitzit hu bekie dehehin, haole kanaf.
What is it, ha?
Dehehin. Hehin is the haze. Ekie b'milui hehin. The hehins, right? Because you could also write it K Yud, for example, right? Or I could also write it K Aleph. But the tzitzit is specifically b'chinat hey and hey. Why? This name of Hashem, which is 151, is also gematria kanaf. Hakanaf petil techelet, right? 80, 100, 150. Imakolel 151, right? So you see hakanaf petil techelet. When you say hakanaf, look into your Sidur of Oda Kodesh, you're going to see this name, Shem Ekye. Be'ehin. Why? Because that's b'chinat tzitzit. Okay, remember, Ekye is always or makif. So now I'm going to see how my Rebbe used to do the tzitzit. הנה צריך הציצית לעשותו שליש אחד גדיל ובית שליש ענף. So he says over here, he's going into how to make the process of the tzitzit. It's very technical. הטעם לפי שכיוון שהציצית לצורך הנוקבה, הנה מקומו הוא בחזית דזה, שהוא בסוף שליש העליון לתפארת שבו, וכנגדו יעשה שליש אחד גדיל, וכנגד בית שלישים התחתונים לתפארת, ששם היא הנוקבה, יעשה שם בית שליש ענף. אמנם הגדיל יעשה חוליות חוליות, כל חוליה מגימל כריכות, ובתחילה יקשור שני קשרים סמוך לכנף, לכרוך 7 כריכות. Then you do 2 krachim, then chet. So he says basically when you do the tzitzit, the whole point of the tzitzit is to bring the shefa to the shechina. Alright, to the malchut. Alright, from za to the malchut. So he says first you do 2 knots. 2 knots. And then you do 7 swirls. And then another 2 knots. And then you do how many? 8 swirls. And then you do another 2 knots. And then 11 swirls. And then another 2 knots and 13 swirls. And then another 2 knots on top. Okay? Varihem tal krichot. So all is 39 krichot. 39 swirls. Kimispar havaya echad. And then when you finish doing all 39, you have to have the kavanah of 39 equals Yud, K, Vav, K, Echad. Hashem Echad. 26 and 13 is going to be 39. So you do the 39, Hashem Echad. Right? Also, how many knots we do? 2, 4, 6, 8. Right? You have in every single one. You have 2 on top. 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm sorry. 10. Those 10 knots are connected to 10 sfirot on every tzad over here. Okay? That's the secret. Okay, I think we're going to end here for the night.
We have sticky drops.
Huh? They're all over the place.